Welcome back to Girl Out of Order. How have you been enjoying the Who Are You Really series? It is one of the most transformational topics that we could ever address. It's all about your identity, sisters. And that's what we do here at Girl Out of Order. We help you be brave and dig deep and figure out who you truly are at your core, and then learn how to boldly live that out in your life. What we are doing in this series is stacking. And if you're not familiar with the stacking concept, it is basically you learn a concept and then the next week you learn a new one, and it literally, like it says, stacks on top of it. So every week of this series has been one more concept stacking on the other one. So if you are diving into the Who Are You Really series for what is part 6, I would really invite you to go back to listen to all of the episodes leading up to this, because they truly do stack. And today's episode is the culmination of all of this work that I know you have been doing on your beautiful identity. So let's do a quick review before we dive into part 6. Episode 1, we talked about measuring. What gets measured grows. What doesn't get measured doesn't grow. And so we looked at measuring all of the areas of our life, and you filled out the wheel of life. Did you do it? If not, please give yourself this gift and go back and fill out the wheel of life so you can identify the areas of your life that need the most time, attention, love. Can you do that for me and for you? I know you can, and I know you will. Episode 2, part 2, we talked about developing the right kind of BS, and we're talking about belief systems, of course. And so we talked about what disempowering beliefs. Let me say it a different way. We didn't just talk about it. I really invited you to journal about it, to do some introspection, because I don't want to just be saying words to you. I want to lead you and guide you to do the work for your beautiful self. I mean, it's just your life you're designing here, right? It's just your destiny. It's just your future. I mean, come on, put pen to paper, sister. You can do this. The amazing thing when we do that is a lot of times we uncover beliefs that we didn't even realize were running in the background of our programming. And so we wrote out disempowering beliefs. I'm not enough. I will never measure up. Nobody likes me. I will always be abandoned. I don't have what it takes. These are hard things to write out, but if we don't get them from the back of our brains to the forefront, we can't then excavate them, get them out of our brains, get them out of our mindset, and therefore release the control they have on the way we show up in this world. And then we talked about empowering beliefs and replacing those, because when you take those icky beliefs, those things that are taking you down and keeping you stuck out of your mind, you need to replace them with empowering beliefs. I have all I need within me now to reach my dreams and live my passion. I am enough. I am worthy. And I'm telling you, there is power in speaking these words, even if you don't fully embody them yet, because we talked about incantations and saying them, saying your values, saying your beliefs out loud. Who cares if your neighbors think you're crazy? Because we're newsflash, they probably already do. So just add to it. Who cares? Because again, it's just your life you're designing. So replace those old beliefs, those disempowering beliefs, with the new and empowering beliefs. I hope that you did that. And I hope that you are incantating them and you are feeling those more and more in your body as you design your life and uncover your truest, best identity. And then we talked about the power of decision, because once you have those new beliefs, it's time to take actions that are congruent with what you now believe to be true about who you are. And then we talked about one of my favorite episode, let me try this again. One of my favorite activities to do for identity, and it's called the power of the mirror. We talked about modeling, choosing your role models. It is actually quite easy for most of us to write out our role models, to write down, oh, I admire her, and I admire her, and I admire him. And, oh, and I definitely would love to have a life like hers. Excuse me, I still have the cough. It's going away. And then we talked about, right, we didn't talk about, again, I got to stop saying that. We wrote out all of the things that we admire in our role models. And then we wrote our own beautiful names over that list, because the power of the mirror is what you admire in others is actually within you, even if you haven't quite uncovered it yet or begun living into it. It is in you, sister. Please do the mirroring exercise. It will transform the way you look at how you show up in this world. And then last week, I was on fire for talking about the forces of identity creation. This is when we start rolling up our sleeves, right? We start rolling up our sleeves and employing these different strategies and tools to live into our new identity. We talked about the 5 to Thrive, and we talked specifically about the triad. And I walked you through how to develop an empowering triad that you named her. Hopefully you did. This empowering triad, how you stand, how you breathe, the way you carry yourself, your physiology, what you focus on, because where your focus goes, your energy flows. And then what language and meaning, what language are you using? And what meaning are you giving to an experience? And I gave you some examples of how to create your own empowering triad, to draw out a triangle, put a name to her. For me, my new identity is Aurora Flame. And I explained what that meant and how she is a totally different embodiment. She's the embodiment of all of these empowering beliefs, because Christine carries with her all that old programming. And even though I love Christine, Aurora Flame makes me feel more alive, like I'm moving towards something. So if you didn't do your own triad, please go back and do that, because what we are diving into today is such a beautiful, well-timed activity and tool for you to carry into 2024 and beyond. Sisters, today we are talking about creating your own personal manifesto. And I'm so excited to dive into this, to give you some instructions on how to do that, and then to share with you my new triad for 2024 that I am in love with. And newsflash, and a little side note, call it a footnote, asterisk, whatever, I'm still tweaking it. I'm still adding to it, taking away, reconsidering some words. And that's the beautiful part about identity creation. We get to be in control of that, sisters. I'm sorry, raise your hand if you like control, because if you're not raising your hand, you lie about other things too. So raise your hand if you like to have control over your own identity. You have that control. That is what is true. And so when you're designing your manifestos, which I know you're all gonna do after this, when you design this manifesto, guess what? You are going to start living into her. And 2024 is going to be a year like you have never dreamed. It is going to be the most epic year yet. Do you believe that? Listening. Do you believe that? Buckle up, because it's going to be so much fun. If you see me on Facebook or on YouTube, you can see I'm rubbing my hands together and I'm so excited. So before we dive in, of course, we get to do our empowered. See how I just, that little tweak in the language, the need to, have to versus get to, that just is a little throwback to the triad. Okay. Our empowereds for this week come from one of my favorite people in the world, J.K. Rowling. She wrote, obviously, the Harry Potter series, and I'm a total Harry Potter nerd junkie. I'm obsessed with everything Harry Potter. But what I'm really obsessed with about this woman is she is so principled. She is so sure of herself. She knows who she is. She will not be bullied. She will not kowtow to anyone. And this is a woman who started writing Harry Potter on napkins in a diner when she was homeless. So this is a woman who nobody handed her $1 million. Nobody made her uber rich. Nobody gave her these ideas. She created her own identity. She knew who she was. She knows who she is. Anyway, I'm going on and on, but she's clearly one of my role models. So let me share with you the empower words. We do not need magic to change the world. We carry all the power we need inside ourselves already. We have the power to imagine better. Now, if those words weren't poignant for this time, I don't know what words are. We are living in very uncertain times. We are living in a time of war, in a time of strife and division, and dare I say, hatred permeates so much of our world and our society, especially here in the United States, but I know it's global. But we have the power within ourselves, sisters, to change the world one beautiful woman at a time. And that's what I want to share with you today, because you creating your personal manifesto is your way to create an identity that then fuels you to make an impact on this world for the better. Are you ready to become a lighthouse? Are you ready to become a flame for positive change? I know that you are, because you are here, you are listening, and I know that you have got your pen ready and you are going to create this beautiful manifesto. So, what is a manifesto? I mean, I don't know about you, but before I started doing this work, I'd hear the word manifesto, and frankly, I would think of like kind of, creepy criminals that would create like, oh, I'm, the manifesto. Even Hitler had a manifesto and all that. That's all crap. So I want you to clear the decks. I want you to push all of that out of your mind, because that is not what we're talking about. We're not talking about Ted Kaczynski sitting in a cabin writing a manifesto about why he became the Unabomber. Okay? Put all that out of your mind. Your personal manifesto could be called a personal statement, but frankly, at Girl Out of Order, we like juicy words, and personal statement just doesn't have the power and the juice and the glitter and the glam behind it the way the word manifesto is. Because manifesto, it's a declaration. I declare these things. And when you declare things, you change your physiology. I mean, how many people have their shoulders slumped? I declare. No, I declare. And you lift up, you rise up. And that's what a manifesto is. It's a declaration. Sisters, what if you could show up as your best self in every situation? What if that was possible? Well, great news. It's not only possible, it is probable. Because if you are willing to do the work and create the new habits and patterns within yourself, you can call on this new identity anytime. You can do a double clap. You can do a snap. You can be like Elle and do the bend and swish. You can do whatever it takes. You can call on this identity. But first and foremost, you need to create her. So let me ask you this. Have you created a new name for yourself? I know it feels weird, but you don't even have to tell anybody. Try some on for size. For me, like I said, it's Aurora Flame. It used to be Felicity Fierce. I tried on Wanda, Warrior Wanda, because I love Wanda from WandaVision. I think she's powerful and loyal and fierce. But as I started to develop more of my femininity and become more of a congruent woman, meaning I'm employing more feminine and masculine in equal amounts or equivalent, whatever, similar amounts. I mean, I'm not perfect, but I'm working on it. I felt I needed a name that embodied more of my femininity. So that's why I chose Aurora Flame, because to me, it's strength and power with softness and femininity. And I wanted to embody both. So what names do you have? I mean, just pick one. Just pick one. Don't overthink it. Whatever comes to mind. I don't care what it is. When we're doing Unleash the Power Within, Carissa, Cooches, she shares that she couldn't come up with a name. She came up with the name Tootsie because she saw a Tootsie Roll sitting on her table and was like, oh, okay, that's a sugary candy, but then she found the song Tootsie Roll and she started to realize, no, wait, it's got more meaning for that. It's just a goofy example to say it doesn't have to be perfect. Just pick something, okay? And if that's keeping you hung up, do me a favor, put this to the side for now, because I really want you to dig into what a manifesto is. And at the end of this, your task is going to be to actually create one. I mean, come on, it's the middle of December. Who isn't already thinking about New Year's resolutions? Who isn't already thinking about 2024 and beyond? Because I can tell you, I am thinking about it like crazy. And I want to go into 2024 with my eyes wide open as to who I am, what I value, what I'm embodying, and what I am manifesting for my next year. And there's the next part of that word. It's not just a declaration, it's a manifestation of who you are. Think about that. It's Monday, Manifestation Monday, right? What are you manifesting? What are you manifesting? It's a buzzword. Don't let the commonality of the word take away from the meaning. Manifest is powerful. That word is powerful. You are not only envisioning what's to come, you are believing it to be true. And you are actually writing this as if it is true. So you're looking to the future and declaring that things are true. There is power in that. Please don't poo-poo this. Don't dismiss it. Embrace it. Because what I'm going to say to you is, what do you got to lose? I mean, how's it working out for you so far? You know, how is Christine or Susie or Sally or Jane working out for you so far? I'm sure there's positive aspects to it, but you're here to grow. And don't you want to be better, do better, dream bigger, love harder? All of that can be part of designing your personal manifesto. So I've laid the groundwork. Let's dig in and get practical. All right, a personal manifesto is a statement of your beliefs, your values, your principles, and importantly, your intentions. What do you intend for your identity? This is not a goal-setting activity, okay? Goals can be part and parcel of it. This is an identity activity, okay? So when you're designing your personal manifesto, it's not like, I want to make $1 million, I want to be a best-selling author. All of those things can be in the back of your mind, but this is more about living into who you are, designing your values, your principles, and your intentions for how you, sister, are going to show up in this life. So when you're designing your personal manifesto, remember this is a reflective and empowering exercise. So this is your opportunity to spend some time reflecting on what your most deeply held values are. Who is Christine or Aurora Flame? Who is Sally? Who is Stephanie? At her core, what are my values? For me, my top values are love and faith and health and vitality and boldness and courage. What are your most deeply held values? Because your manifesto is your opportunity to write out a statement of your intentions that reflect your values. And so that is a critical first step. You need to identify what those values are. What are your core principles? If somebody were to say, okay, Tara is this kind of woman, you can even say, I'm the kind of woman who, or I'm the kind of woman that. If somebody were to describe you, or you were to describe yourself, most importantly, because obviously I'm going to tweak that. I don't want someone else describing you. Scratch that. That doesn't belong here. I misspoke because I'm human. I'm the kind of woman who. I'm the kind of woman that. I'm the kind of woman who embraces love and extends love to others. Okay. So knowing your values is your most important first step to designing your personal manifesto. So take some time to write out as many values as you can think of. I value security. I value connection. I value growth. I value contribution. I value achievement. There's no shame here, no blame here, no judgment. This is your life, you're designing. You want to be honest. but you also want to be bold. So don't play small. Put values that you are striving towards. Maybe your value is honesty and you're not fully living as an honest person, but you know that at your core, you are an honest person and you want to live more into that. Put it down. Okay. Put it down. This is what they call it, a brain dump, which I don't really love that because it has a weird connotation to me, but you get the idea. I just want you to just free associate, and you can write all over the paper. If your creativity is bullet point lists, great. If your creativity is, I'm going to write one this way, I'm going to write one that way, I'm going to write one down, horizontal, zigzag, I'm going to get out pink paper, whatever floats your boat, sister. Just write as many values as you can, because this is about opening up your neural pathways so you can get creative. Okay? Ready to go? Got it? Awesome. Let's move on to the next thing. Identifying your goals. Now, remember when I said this isn't a goal setting exercise? That's true. And it is still important to understand what your goals are for certain areas of your life. So I don't mean like, oh, I want to have 10 clients by, June 1st. It's not the kind of specificity I'm talking about. In this personal manifesto, it's like, my goal is to have a more loving and connected relationship with my spouse. My goal is to show up at work with enthusiasm and energy. So you can set goals, but what I'm saying is I don't want them to be the kind of goals that you're like, this isn't a measurement tool. That's a totally different exercise. This is more about how you show up in the different areas of your life, right? I am a master of my time, and I plan my schedule with commitment and energy and excitement. See the difference? Like, I sit down at Sunday at 8 a.m. and do blah, blah, blah. That's not a manifesto. That's more goal setting. And hopefully that was clear. Expressing your intentions, articulate those intentions and those commitments. So I think it's kind of a little bit redundant here, but you get the idea. So what actions are you willing to take to align your life with your values? I will show up early. I am the kind of woman who shows up early to work to set the energy for the office. I don't know if that's a helpful example or not. And then defining your principles, specify principles that guide your behavior. These could be ethical principles, they could be personal standards, or they could be guidelines for decision making. I'm the kind of woman who believes she is guided by my higher power, and I lean into my faith. Okay, maybe that's a kind of principle that would work for you. Addressing challenges. Now, let me be clear about this part of a manifesto. This doesn't go into a manifesto because your manifesto should be embracing and embodying positivity and forward looking. Okay. So your manifesto your manifesto to be most effective for what we're trying to do here at Girl Out of Order should be focused on positivity and aspirations. This is somewhat aspirational. But the reason I want you to address the challenges is because remember, we're free associating on a piece of paper. We're just writing. It's like, hey, one of my challenges is my spouse is not on board with my growth. Okay, I've acknowledged that. How am I going to live my best life and write out this manifesto while understanding that this is going to be a challenge that I deal with? Okay, so that's something that you might want to write down just so you're acknowledging it, again, getting it out of your brain and onto the paper. And we talked about embracing positivity. Use words that light you up. Do not use words that are like a mealy apple that you're like, oh, wow, this is an apple, but I don't like the texture. It doesn't really do much for me. Okay. I love the metaphor of a mealy apple because you can eat an apple. It can give you some sustenance. It tastes like an apple, but it's not an enjoyable experience. It doesn't fire you up, as opposed to when you bite in like a crisp, honey crisp apple, or you get an apple off the tree in an orchard. You're like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. And it's a weird example, but I'm pretty sure you get the idea. Now, for somebody like me, especially a lawyer, but also as a podcaster who tends to go on and on and on a little bit, keep it concise. Your personal manifesto should not be this long-winded, 42-page, diatribe treatise on all the things, Christine, or all the things, I keep saying the word Sally. I don't know why Sally keeps coming to my mind, but maybe there's a Sally out here who needs to hear this. You want to keep it concise. You want to keep it to one page. When I say one page, I'm talking one page typed, because you want to be able to put it up where you can see it and reread it for yourself. And if you're on YouTube, you'll see this. I'm going to show you my manifesto. It fits on one page. And it takes some work to get it concise. So go for it when you're drafting it. And then you want to make it as concise as you can, because you want to learn how to embody this. This is going to be something I want you to record and listen. That's actually one of my commitments to you all, is I'm going to record my manifesto to some beautiful background music this week. And I'm going to listen to her every day, because she is guiding me to my best life. Even if I don't feel every word of it, I'm going to start embodying it more and more, because I'm going to be listening to it. And then lastly, you want to be able to review it and revise it. Woo! When Carissa Cucces teaches about the manifestos and Unleash Her Power Within, she says you have what are called iterations. You have different versions. I like the word iteration, but if that doesn't work for you, just different versions. So you might have a longhand version and you go, okay, I'm never going to be able to remember all of that. I could probably make it shorter. So when you revise it, take out words you don't need, like I am going to be a woman who. No, I am a woman who. That's a bad example, but hopefully you understand, like sometimes we say sentences because we are women, and this is what we do, that have probably 10 to 30% more words than is necessary to truly and effectively convey the content. You want to learn how to live into this manifesto. You want to embody it. Don't over speak it. Keep it concise and then revise it, change it, tweak it. If certain words don't work for you, take them out. You get to design it. Remember that whole control piece I told you had? Woohoo! Great news. You get to control this. So that means you get to revise it and what works for you. And another little caveat to that is ask for feedback. I can't tell you how empowering and powerful it was in the last round of UHPW for me to be able to workshop my manifesto with my friend Lucy, because one, she's absolutely brilliant. Two, she has observed me for a long time and knows my heart. And three, she's honest. And lastly, she's grace-filled. So find somebody that you trust their editing, trust how they know you, trust them to be grace-filled, trust them to be honest, because we don't need somebody just like, oh my gosh, it's so perfect, because every manifesto could use a little tweaking here and there. And when you get that feedback, guess what happens? It helps you go, oh my gosh, I didn't think of that. Wow, you see that in me? That's amazing. I'm putting that in there because I know that I'm going to start seeing more of that in myself. All right. So those are the things to consider when you're crafting a manifesto. So now let's get practical. I'm going to give you step by step how you create your own personal manifesto. So buckle up. Get on a notepad. But here's the great news. I'm actually going to put this in the show notes. I'm going to put the steps that you need to go through in the show notes. So if you're driving, don't panic. And please, for the love of God, don't write this down. But these are the steps that you're going to take to create your own personal manifesto. Okay? First things first. And it's a formula. Who doesn't love formulas? I know I do, because once it's create the manifesto, all I do is stare at the screen, or I do Chat GPT, and you can certainly do that. By the way, I'll let you know, I use Chat GPT for a lot of my manifesto to help me with the wording, to give me creative concepts. I am a big fan of it. I don't have any problem with it, because at the end of the day, when you read it over, you're going to know if it's you or not, right? Sometimes we just need a little help to get the creative juices flowing. So I'm totally on board with that. First step. This is my year of. You ready? This is my year of. This is my year of what? What is one word that embodies your expansion for 2024? Okay. We are so familiar with this concept. I've got a word of the year. Like my word of 2021, 2022. My year for 2022 was emerge. This is my year to emerge. And boy, did that take place, because by the end of 2022, I went from being shy and just a little bit not unsure of myself and the Unleash Your Power Within community to becoming a mentor. In the beginning of 2023, I went from being so sad and hard in my marriage to having an intervention with Tony Robbins at Date with Destiny in 2022, and absolutely emerging as a feminine goddess, frankly, who was ready to love and heal and grow with my husband. So picking the word for the year, just so you know, you can tweak it, you can change it, but you got to pick one. Just pick one and start with it. So for me, my year, 2024 word of the year is, this is my year to ascend. I spent 2023 growing, expanding. I had chosen explosive growth for 2023. So I chose a phrase, which, by the way, guess what? You can choose a phrase. Who cares? It's your life. And I had explosive growth in 2023 in my leadership. I launched a course in this podcast. Thank God. Thank you for you. In my business, in my law firm, in my marriage, I had explosive growth. And now 2024 is my year to ascend. I am taking shit to the next level. All of my stuff is next leveling. I'm next leveling my business. I'm next leveling my relationship. I am absolutely next leveling my health, my vitality, my energy. So you see how when you pick a word, it's really a gateway for this manifesto, because once you pick a word that really embodies where you want to go in the next year, the rest of this, sisters, will flow. So what is your word? Is it your year to heal? Is it your year to connect? Is it your year to expand? Is it your year to be present? Is it your year to grieve? You know, last year I didn't do enough grieving of my mom. And I just lost my Aunt Pat yesterday, my dad's sister. And I brought a lot of that back. So I'm going to be tweaking my manifesto to add in some things that I need to handle in that area of my life. So it doesn't have to necessarily be all about, woo, I know I said positivity, but here's the deal with grief. I know this is a little bit of a sidebar, but hear me out. Grief is positive because it's necessary. If you don't grieve, you don't heal. So maybe that lands for somebody. Maybe it doesn't. I just felt led to share that. Is it your year of emergence? Is it your to emerge? Is it your year to be financially free? Is it your year to 10x your business? That's not a phrase, but you get what I'm saying. What is the word that works for you? Okay, 2024 is definitely my year to ascend. And then the next step. So once you've got that word down, and again, don't get hung up here. Don't do what I do sometimes and spend hours and hours in your thesaurus. Please just get a word out. And then number 2, where I, okay? 2024 is my year of blank, where I blank, okay? What does it mean to you to embody that word? How does it apply to your daily living? So for me, 2024 is my year to ascend, where I embrace my opportunities and make the most of them. That's an example. 2024 is my year to connect, where I reach out to old friends and connect more deeply with my family and schedule special events. I don't know what it is. I'm giving you examples to get it flowing. So the second step is where 2024 is my year of blank, where I blank. What is that for you? Okay. What is that for you? And you'll see how this comes together in my manifesto that I will read at the end. And I will definitely share in the show notes so you can see what a manifesto looks like. It is yours to design, sisters. I have heard and seen so many of them, and I'm always inspired. In fact, every time I hear a new one, guess what I want to do? I want to change mine. I want to steal, because it's not stealing, it's sharing, right? All right. So then the third step is I am. What descriptor words or feelings most embody this version of you? What descriptor words most embody Aurora Flame? To me, she is feminine. She is soft and strong. She is present. She is connected. So it's not she is, it's I am. I am courage. I am brave. I am feminine. I am present. I am. So these are your I am words, your I am statements. Come up with 4 or 5 of them that embody this new woman. Even if you haven't named her, don't get hung up on that. Remember, just write out some I am words for you. And the next one is more I am, but it's a little bit of a tweak on it. Okay. So I am is I am courage, I am love, I am bravery, I am present. And then the other I am is when you embody those qualities of bravery or courage or presence, how do you show up in life, right? I am a woman who dances with life's complexities and embraces uncertainty. So that's a woman who is courage and femininity. So you see how that works? So I am feminine, I am courage shows up with a woman who dances with life's complexities and embraces uncertainty. The dancing with life's complexities is her femininity, and embracing uncertainty is how I embody courage. Hopefully that's helpful for you. And then you go on to the guiding principles. And this is where you get to have some fun. You get to get out your inner mad scientist and design your life. Be free with this. Give yourself permission to just write. Whatever comes out is what should be on that paper, even if it doesn't make it into your final draft of your manifesto. You remember when we used to be free and be creative, when we get Play-Doh out or finger painting, or remember when we used to be more childlike? This is your opportunity to be more childlike. Put all your rules, all your structures, all your expectations aside and just be creative. I am a woman who, right? The woman you want to become and are becoming, because this is our manifesto. We are manifesting a beautiful 2024, an outrageous 2024, a healed 2024. Did you lose somebody in 2023? Did you lose a marriage? Did you lose a child? Did you change jobs? Did you start a business? Did you start a podcast, perhaps? Whatever it is, like, embody those qualities and guiding principles for this person into 2024. All right. So how are you committed to living this new life of yours? Just have fun. When I read my manifesto to you, you'll hear this threaded throughout. So don't get too hung up on this. I don't want to spend a lot more time on this. And then my purpose in this life is to, this is where the meat is. This is where the crux of your manifesto is. My purpose in this life for me is to be a feminine lighthouse, fully present, serving with passionate joy, fully listening and embracing and enjoying God's purpose in every moment. Like, you get to have fun in drafting your purpose statement. So what call are you most excited to answer in this life, sister? What call is it? Is it the call to be a leader? Is it the call to create a family? Is it a call to finally say yes to that committed relationship? Is it a call to finally say yes to taking care of your beautiful vessel, your body, your health? Because remember, health is everything that leads to being able to have everything else. What would best support your own expansion? So this is your outline. Let me read it again very quickly to summarize. This is my year of blank. Where I blank, how you embody that word. And then I am. What are you? Are you courage? Are you bravery? Are you brilliance? Are you femininity? Are you softness? Are you open? Are you warm? What is it for you, sister? Are you successful? Are you achievement? And then I am. When you embody those qualities, how do you show up in this life? What are the guiding principles to how you're living this new life? And then my purpose in this life is to. That is a lot, but I promise you, when you see it written out, it's actually very simple. The work is up to you. So will you take this challenge? Will you answer this call to create your own personal manifesto for 2022? I mean, why? Or 2022? Wow, did I just go backwards? Woo, time machine. Sorry about that. 2024. There we go. I don't know. 2022 was a pretty damn good year, but 2024 is where we're going. So will you answer this call? I know you will, because your life is worth it. So let me read mine and we'll wrap up with this, okay? 2024 is my year to ascend, where I am fear. Okay, so this is a really good example of how imperfect this process is, because I started and then I stuttered. I'm going to start over because I get to design my own life. And if I'm sharing my manifesto with you, I want you to hear the whole thing without me going, ah, la, la. Okay, so we're giving grace to ourselves and to others. So I'm giving grace to myself and I'm starting over. Okay, 2024 is my year to ascend. I am fearlessly authentic. Where my little girl was once a shadow, my true woman is now fully in the light. I bring the light. I am the light. I embrace my feminine as a friend, and I amplify all she is teaching me. I am in tune with my body and I listen to her signals. I am a woman of deep integrity. I speak, I walk, and I breathe what is true. I am spiritually in tune and I trust my intuition. I look for opportunities to teach, coach, and lead women. I push myself out of my comfort zone. I embody enthusiasm and my energy introduces me before I speak a word. And you know what? I use humor at just the right time. I am creative. I am loyal. I am present. I am grace-filled and generous. Gratitude is my guide. I see and seek the good in others. I treat all beings with respect, protecting their inherent dignity. I serve with passionate joy, and I am a leader. I accept uncertainty, and I take chances to pursue my dreams. I welcome life as an adventure, and I dance with its complexities. I am worthy. I am Aurora Flame. Sisters, that is my manifesto for 2024. I hope this was so helpful for you. Remember, you are your own mad scientist. You get to design your beautiful life on your terms. So will you answer the call? Will you do it? I know you will. And I cannot wait to see them shared in our Facebook community. I am going to be sharing my manifesto in all its glory, in all its beauty, because I put it on pretty paper, in our Facebook community today when this podcast drops. And I want to see yours. Have fun with this. This is an adventure. This is not something to dread. So create your personal manifesto. Everything you've been working for has been stacking to this end. And I am so excited. We're in this together forever. Thank you for joining me for this part 6 of the Who Are You Really series. I am so excited to see your manifestos and to watch you live into them for 2024. Do me a favor, please share this podcast as far and wide as you can. Take a picture of you listening to this podcast, post it on your social media. We need to create a tribe, a gang, a country, a world of girls out of order. And I will see you next week for our final installment in the Who Are You Really series, part 7. It is all about transformation. Have an amazing time creating your manifestos, and I will see you next time.